It's another week and I'm back with another project, and this time it's an AI mock interview platform. As in colleges, you have mock exams before giving your main exams. Similarly, before going to a real interview, you can practice giving mock interview on this app or website. Many a times during an interview, you know the answer to the question, but just can't remember it at that moment. After coming back home, you're like, I knew the answer to that question, just couldn't remember it at that moment. So, to solve this problem, here comes the AI mock interview platform. Here, you can select which company you are giving the interview for. For example, Amazon, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Telegram. You can select your role. If you are giving interview for a junior developer role or a senior developer, what kind of interview you want, technical, behavioral, or mixed. Your tech stack, that is which technologies you want to get covered in the interview, like React.js, Express.js, TypeScript, etc. And you can also define how many questions you want the interviewer to ask. Isn't that amazing? The projects that I've made until now were front-end projects. Although they had an amazing UI, they were still static sites. Whenever you clicked on something, nothing happened. That's no fun. So this time, I've built a full-stack project. This AI mock interview platform I built using the latest and greatest technologies like NextJS, TypeScript, Tailwind CSS. For the authentication and databases, I used Google's Firebase. For the AI voice agent, I used VAPI, which uses OpenAI's GPT-4o cluster as its LLM model. And for scraping the conversation of the interview and generating the feedback, I used Google's Gemini Flash 2.0. Enough with the tech stack, let's dive into the website. So this is how the website looks on horizontal screens. When you first visit this website, you're taken to this sign up page. Anyone can sign up to this website. I already have an account, so I'll click on sign in. Here, I will enter my credentials. And I'm in. So this is how the website looks on horizontal screens. Here we have a cool robot image. Get interview ready with AI powered practice and feedback. We have the start an interview option. We have your interviews section. And then we have the interviews that others have taken. So you can select the company which you want to take the interview for, like Facebook, Telegram, TikTok. The role of the interview, like backend developer, frontend developer, full stack developer, your tech stack, like Tailwind CSS, HTML, JavaScript. Then we have React.js, NextJS, Node.js, Express.js. These icons look really cool, isn't that right? So here we can take an interview that someone else has generated, or here we can generate our own personalized interview. Now I'm going to show you how you can generate your own personalized interview. So I'll click on start an interview. I'm taken to this interview generation page. I'll make a call.
Hello, let's prepare your interview. I'll ask you a few questions and generate a perfect interview just for you. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Great. First, what role would you like to train for? Front-end developer, back-end developer, or full-stack developer?
Let's go with front-end developer.
Got it, front-end developer. Now, are you aiming for a technical interview, behavioral interview, or a mixed one?
Technical interview.
Perfect. What's your job experience level? Would you say you're at a junior or senior level?
Junior.
Thanks for confirming. Now, can you share the list of technologies you'd like to cover during the interview? For example, JavaScript, React, or any others.
Let's go with React.js and Tailwind CSS.
Got it. React.js and Tailwind CSS. Lastly, how many questions would you like me to prepare for you?
2 questions.
Please hold on. I'm sending request.
Okay.
The request has been sent and the interview has been generated. Thank you for the call. Bye.
After the interview has completed, we are redirected to this page. And as you can see, our interview is generated here. For now, the company logos are generated at random, like the Spotify company logo has come here. But see, front-end developer interview, then our tech stack like React.js, Tailwind CSS, and this is going to be a technical interview. Now, I'm going to take this interview. So I've clicked on View Interview. And I'm taken to this page where I can take this interview. So I'll click on Call.
Hello. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm excited to learn more about you and your experience.
I'm excited as well.
That's great to hear. Let's get started. Could you explain the difference between state and props in React and give a simple example of when you'd use each?
Yes, state is like the brain of a component and is used for handling changes, whereas props are used to pass properties from one component to another, usually from parent component to child component.
Good. That's correct. Could you provide a quick example of a situation where you'd use state and another where you'd use props?
Yes, recently I made a movies website which had a search bar functionality. In the search bar, for handling the changes of the text, I used useState. The first parameter of the useState was search term, the second was set search term, and it was set to an empty string.
Got it. So you use state to handle the search term dynamically as the user typed. What about props? Can you share an example of where you used props in your project?
Yes, in the same movies app, I used props to pass properties from the parent component to child component, like for example keys, the movie ID, the movie URL, etc.
That's a solid example. Passing those key details as props to the child components makes sense. Let's move to the next question. How has Tailwind CSS's utility-first approach impacted your workflow compared to traditional CSS, and do you see any drawbacks to using it?
I don't see any drawbacks to using it, but Tailwind CSS has helped me a lot in comparison to the normal CSS.
That's great to hear. Can you elaborate a bit on how it has helped? For example, has it made development faster or more organized for you?
Yes, it has made it more organized and faster as well, as we can enter the class names of the Tailwind classes in the React components instead of changing to the CSS file.
That makes sense. The inline utility classes definitely streamline styling. Thank you for explaining that. Do you have any questions for me about the role or the company?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right, thank you for your time today. It was great speaking with you, and we'll be in touch soon with feedback. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye, and take care.
Now I've clicked on the end call button, and now you see the feedback of the interview will be generated. As you can see, the feedback of the interview is generated. We can see feedback on the interview, front-end developer interview. Overall impression 65 out of 100. Date is 19 June at 2 p.m. The candidate has a decent grasp of React fundamentals and some practical experience. However, there are areas of improvement in communication, confidence, and technical depth. Further interviews should explore problem-solving skills and cultural fit in more detail. Breakdown of the interview: communication skills 70 out of 100, technical knowledge 75 out of 100, problem solving 60 out of 100, cultural fit 60 out of 100, confidence and clarity 60 out of 100. Strengths: good understanding of React fundamentals, state and props, practical experience with React projects, familiarity with Tailwind CSS. Areas for improvement: improve clarity and consciousness in communication, practice structuring responses for better articulation, develop deeper understanding of Tailwind CSS and its drawbacks, prepare insightful questions to ask the interviewer, demonstrate more confidence in the response. So that was the generated feedback. Isn't that amazing? When I click on back to dashboard, I will be taken to this page. So that was the website, and the best part about it is you can tweak the interviews according to your needs. You can set the difficulty of the interview based on the selected role. If you select the junior developer role, the questions will be in easy to medium range. Whereas if you select a senior developer role, the questions will be quite difficult. Also, you can only select the technologies that you know and also the number of questions. Isn't that amazing? Just like my other projects, I've hosted this website live on the internet using Vercel. But I can't provide you the link to the website like my other projects, which are always available in my Instagram link tree. That's because the AI voice agent service that I've used in this project, VAPI, it's not free, and it charges for every call you make or every interview you take. Before ending the video, I would like to tell you about Firebase, which I've used for authentication and databases. Firebase is a BaaS, that is backend as a service, which helps you handle your backend. I really liked using it. Other examples of backend as a service are AppWrite and Supabase, which I've used in other projects. This website too, I learned to build from JavaScript Mastery YouTube channel, and it took me 12 days to build it. 8 days to code the website and 4 days fixing errors. This website still has some bugs like you would have noticed earlier, but still, it gets the work done. It fulfills the main purpose of the app, which is being able to generate the interviews according to your preferences, then take the generated interviews as well as generate the feedback of the taken interview. That's it for the video. Hope you liked it. This is your boy Prithvi signing off.